All right, so here we go. Part two. Last week, there was a big story covered by our very own Pavel. We talked about it, and he was on the Vetted podcast with Patrick, and they talked to Simon Holland about the James Webb telescope and what Pavel was hearing about, that the actual there was an object that was picked up. And then we had a conversation here last week on UAP Tuesday about the back and forth that we had heard about when disclosure potentially was going to happen, and that there was this always rumored date of 2027, and more so of when there was going to be an announcement. Well, Simon Holland was back on the Vetted podcast today, and he made, as the kids say, a wild claim that this is going to be announced. The proof of alien life is going to be announced this year, within the year. So I'm going to play a little bit of exactly what Simon told Patrick and the crew on the stream today, and then I'll play a little bit more about the follow-up that Clint asked him, and then we'll discuss all of that. So here's that clip from the Vetted show. Here it is.
Article, if you could believe it, Simon.
Oh yeah, sure.
Covered it.
No, it's a real story, and we're about to get full alien disclosure. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, which is
where are you hearing?
You know.
Okay, so
dreams. Sorry, that's just the obvious.
No, Clint is a really good
Jack
question.
33, yeah, Jack Dragon 33 on YouTube commented it.
Trust me, bro.
And
.com.
yeah.
No. So my family contacts are all in Cambridge radio astronomy, and a very good mate is a retired head of the European Space Agency radio, and it was him originally who told me that about the probable contact, or the likely candidate, that's the word I'm looking for, wake up, candidate that was discovered from SETI at home that Breakthrough Listen are currently studying. I just think that they're stalling for time. I think they do want a bit more confirmation. I think James Webb has also found something, really. And we're just getting into the final the final blows of how it's going to come out. I think it's going to be definitely a year or less. I mean, we're living in a changed time.
Okay, there's more to that. And that's a lot. But from what Simon's saying and the things that he's hearing is, not only did James Webb pick up something, now he does go further on to say in the next clip I'll play that it wasn't necessarily an object, but it was more of a sound or communication, if you will, and that he's saying it's inevitable that they can't hold it back anymore, that they will be announcing it. Now, this to me is one of these things, man, where, okay, so let's take it that this isn't true, okay, and that no announcement will come within 6 months to 2 years, okay? Well, then what you could see happening is then Patrick gets Simon back on the show in 2 years, and he says to him, hey, Simon, it's been 2 years and nothing's happened. What say you? Simon could say, well, they changed their mind since then. Simon could say, well, I heard there was different things that that happened at that point, that they were considering it, but then they've decided not to do it, which is what usually seems happens in situations like this. Now, let's go the, pardon the French, batshit crazy scenario of, holy shit, this actually happened. And that they said, listen, we picked something up. There's no world that we can keep this quiet anymore. There's too much out there. This is something we've been waiting to discuss. There's been a lot of conversation about it. We have been cushioning the blow with certain things that have been in the media, and we can confirm that there indeed is other life on other planets. And as Simon says, we are living in a different world, because it would be a different world if that was the announcement. That's all anybody would or should talk about. if that was the case. Some people don't agree with that. Some people believe that, we would just go about our day. I don't know if that's true, depending on what it ultimately means and what kind of answers there were. But as I mentioned, inside of that clip, Simon does mention the Pavel story about the object. And this is what was asked. Here it is.
Is any of this new from the last time we all spoke?
I just researched like crazy what Pavel was saying about. I'm not hearing anything about an object. I'm hearing very strong rumors of both. And somebody said something very interesting that I'd like to reveal about both a technological signature, but a technological signature I talked about was about electromagnetic energy from radio telescopes, but they were saying a technological signature of that could be found by the James Webb telescope, possibly by looking for chemicals in atmospheres that could only be produced by somebody with a technological, scientific civilization. And that's what I'm hearing anyway.
So they're going to, I'm sorry if I could just jump in one more question.
Yeah, of course,
Are they going to announce biosignatures that they've confirmed on another planet at the same time? Are you saying they're going to also announce a signal has been received?
That is such a great question because
and these are two separate things. These are not related. They could be two different civilizations, more or less.
Well, that's exactly my question. Exactly. So, have they possibly detected the signatures of life in by a spectrum analysis from James Webb, and have they also found a technological chemical signature? And Clint, that's exactly what I asked. I said, two different planets, and they went, no, it's the same place.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, I'm playing both sides of the comment section here, and I'll be the first guy on the comment section, inevitable. This guy's full of it. There's no chance. How does this guy know? Who's telling him? I don't believe it. You keep hearing the same thing. Keep following it. I'll be over here eating my pizza while watching reruns of Game of Thrones or whatever. Reruns. Are they even reruns anymore? And then there's this guy. Wow. Is it actually going to happen? Is this going to go down? This could be crazy. The world could change. There's the other guy. I'll believe it when I see it. And I'm sure I'll get all those comments. I'm sure I'm just going to get those comments just so somebody is going to write it in there anyway. And rightfully so. All of you are right to write what you just did, because I'm feeling all of that. At one point, I'm like, how the hell, who's telling Simon this? He's that connected in, that he's got this information, and he's revealing it on Patrick's show. This is a big story if it's the case. And look, you're going to track back, if using the positive side of things here and saying, listen, this actually went down. Hey, remember this? When this guy was on Vetted, which is a channel that reports on this stuff every day in the way that maybe CNN, Fox, all those other news places should have been doing, the way Patrick's doing, the way other people are doing. Remember that? Remember that story when that happened? The guy revealed it here. Or you're going to do exactly what I just said beforehand. Hey, Patrick asked him the question. This is what the guy said. Nothing's happened. In the same way that a lot of people have promised things that were going to happen and nothing happened. It does go back to what I said to you before and what I've said to you many times over. This is going to... I just had a whole conversation with Matt Laszlo on UAP Tuesday on our show, and we talked about how Congress isn't really... There are people inside of Congress that are taking it serious, but for the large part of Congress is not taking this topic serious. And if that is indeed the case, it's going to come from a leak or somewhere else too of someone admitting something. Because if this particular story was something that Congress is very involved in, and that it is going to be someone from Congress or the government making this announcement, I feel like there'd be more buzz around it and more people would be discussing it. And then, it's coming. I mean, where's it coming from is the question. Do I want to be hopeful about this? Sure. How do people react? And this would go against what we talked about in that last episode from this first conversation of the 2027, 2030. And they very well may ask the follow-up to that question is, what happened in the change of plans from 2027 to 2030, whatever it was, that they're going to do this now? Where did that change come from? Patrick, my man, my friend, bring me on the show next time when Simon's on. I'd love to ask him questions like this. Call me up. You got my number. Because I'd like to ask these questions. And by the way, Dr. Dan or Clint very well might have asked those questions. Patrick might have asked that question. I haven't watched the whole interview. I watched a lot of it. So this is the topic. This is the thing that was interesting to me. I said, I gotta talk about this because this is the big thing that people are going to be discussing here when obvious claim of they're going to announce alien life for the next year. We'll be watching. And we'll all be saying, Simon was right. Look at that. He was right. He announced this, and then you get a claim like that, and this guy, he's going to be the one that's doing interviews all over the damn place. But there is something to be said about it too, because look, I always bring this back to, for those of you who know or don't know, I do a separate kind of pop culture channel also, and we deal with movie news, TV news, rumors about things that are happening all the time. And this type of thing happens all the time. Someone will report something and say, hey, we're hearing that the next Batman movie or the next Batman villain is going to be Scarecrow, and it's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio. And it'll be happen in 2027. And all the places will pick it up and everybody will talk about it. Oh my God, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be the Scarecrow, and boom, 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 and everybody's talking about it. And then time goes on, doesn't happen, nothing happens. And then 2027, you're like, oh, you remember that rumor back then when Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to? Yeah, I remember that one. And then it goes away. It could read like that here. Because of like, oh yeah, I remember that guy back in 2024 that said Alien Life was they were gonna announce it after the first year, after about a year from when he did that interview. And then again he interviewed him. That's what I heard at the time. Okay, that's what he heard at the time. I heard that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be Scarecrow. I heard it was going to announce the Alien Life. That's what I heard. This guy told me. I believe him. He said other stuff that came true. This time it didn't come true. And the flip side, once again, is remember that dude? Everyone remembers Simon. He was on that show. Everyone remembers that show when he said it was going to happen. You go back and you look, and now all the big networks are talking about it now. Of course they are, because there's something on the White House lawn. And it was reported on a show on YouTube, and you guys should have been paying attention. Where do you think it's going to land? Where do you think this is going to go? Let the comments commence. I am so curious to hear what you guys think about this claim. Because this is a big claim. This is a major claim. This is a claim that within the next 6 months to a year, never mind 2027, never mind 2030, that by the time the next Superman movie comes out, we'll know if Krypton is real. Well, maybe not Krypton, but we'll know. And then the other claim is that it's two different species. Well, we've heard that before, though. There's different species. And that they're also from a different planet. Now, there's also it also combats the inner dimensions and all that stuff too. So I don't know what the hell to believe anymore. And I'm sure you don't either. But maybe some of you do and you have theories. Let them rip. Tell me what you think. Put your comments in there. I really appreciate it. We'll be back here tomorrow. I want to thank you guys for being supportive of this channel. Make sure that you comment, click like, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, not only can you become a member, get something for yourself. And why wouldn't you get Rocket Money? It is so amazing. I love Rocket Money, and I'll tell you about them right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Hey, guys, thanks for watching the show. Listen, I have been there so many times where I've had subscriptions that I've been going through my phone, didn't even realize I still had them. I signed up at one point, and I said, what am I doing? I'm wasting all this money. And I stopped doing that a while ago because I have Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a subscription service, and it is amazing. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. You get alerts if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 200 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/DTE. That's rocketmoney.com/DTE. This thing keeps me organized. I've been using it for so long. I really love Rocket Money. I have it on my phone. I literally have an update right there. I love Rocket Money, and you will too. So check it out. The link's in the description.